This is something I never thought I would ever hear. I thought they had reserved this kind of a title for Harry, but Macy Corsa. Okay, Sussex is, but right now I'm talking about your brother, if you don't mind, right? So I never thought I would hear them say this about William, but it is alleged that King Charles is worried about public relations disaster, William. And I've heard this and read this in several publications at this point, that King Charles is worried that William is a public relations disaster. These are strong words. I can see how he may be worried that William made some public relations mistakes recently, or maybe just one with the photo of Catherine. But to call his son, the heir apparent to the British throne, a public relations disaster, that's huge. That means that the public doesn't even know the half of it, because a disaster is a flotsam, it's a shipwreck, it is a catastrophe, right? What was so catastrophic about anything that happened? William is, to all of our knowledge, in Norfolk, in his little country house, just relaxing with his wife, who is getting preventative chemotherapy, which means the worst is behind her. She no longer has cancer. She's taking a therapy to prevent any cancer from coming or reoccurring, right? So the worst is behind him. The whole world and all of the British population is in sympathy with Catherine for this cancer that they believe she's riddled with, to the point that she's bedridden and fragile, despite seeing her at the farm shop in that video released just 2 days before she said she was receiving preventative chemotherapy. We saw her in a video released by the Sun in conjunction with William and Kensington Palace, showing a bouncing, healthy, happy, go lucky, no care in the world Kate Middleton, right? Despite this, the entire British population and a lot of the global population is convinced, after that video that Kate came out with saying that she had cancer, that poor Kate is bedridden and she's riddled with cancer. This is totally ridiculous. She never said she had cancer. She said she's getting preventative chemotherapy to prevent cancer, everyone. Wake up and smell the coffee, right? So if that's all true, it seems like the worst is behind them. Why is Charles describing his son, the heir apparent to the British throne, who could actually take the throne any day now, given the reports that Charles has allegedly has pancreatic cancer? I have no way of substantiating those claims, right? So this is just hearsay, conjecture, speculation, etc. I'm not saying it's a fact that he has pancreatic cancer. I'm saying that it has been reported that he has pancreatic cancer, right? And so if that's the case, William is next in line, and his ascension to the throne is imminent, right? And you have your father, your sick father, who's 1 foot into his next life in the great beyond, saying that you are a public relations disaster. What do you think about this, you guys? Am I melodramatic for wondering what's going on here? Like, why would a father say that? After announcing, this is from Celebrity, after announcing that King Charles was battling cancer, the palace insisted that he, quote, remains positive about his treatment, end quote. But it's far worse than anyone knows, an insider tells In Touch exclusively. He has pancreatic cancer and has a maximum of 2 years to live. Whoa. In the third paragraph, Charles knows the pressures of being the monarch, the source adds, and he just isn't sure William is ready to take his place. It seems premature, and there could be consequences. Well, speaking of consequences, I mean, haven't I been saying that William suffers no consequences, but they have picked up and they're saying they're worried that the time has come where he may have to face these consequences, whatever they are, right? Whatever they are. Um, okay, but that's a different video, isn't it, about all of that? This video is all about King Charles dubbing William a public relations disaster. Do you know what disaster means in this context in which we're in? That's a heavy word. That's a heavy word. So that is saying that we don't really know the half of it. What is it that is so disastrous, King Charles, that you said this to someone in the palace who then went and snitched? There is a snitch in the palace. I don't know whether it is Buckingham Palace or Kensington Palace. And really, I shouldn't say there is. I should say that I believe there is a snitch in the palace who's selling stories to the American tabloids against William. Why would they be doing that? And is it true or false? Because this story about King Charles being worried about public relations disaster William is recurring. It's taking on some heat, it's catching fire here, that William is a public relations disaster. Why do you think King Charles feels that way? What are your thoughts?